What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And this time I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I want to talk about what's going on with the economic calendar, what data is about to come out that can shake the whole markets, and how Tesla's looking in the pre-markets thus far. But before I bring anything to all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Tesla's sinking quite a bit so far in the pre-markets, down 2.78%. Not looking the strongest, but the question is, how will Tesla move and what's going on with all this economic data? So let's first talk about this. Guys, the market's going to make a big move today. We're going to see something very significant. At 9:45 a.m., we have the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI coming out. This could cause some volatility, but the real move is going to come at 10 o'clock a.m. because we have the ISM Manufacturing PMI and lots of very important manufacturing data, which is going to affect the Fed's policies and how we're viewing the current state of the economy. This is going to be very important for new orders and manufacturing pricing. This is very important for the US, very important for the stock market, and this is going to cause a move, in my opinion. And then after all of this, something else very big is happening. Once again, at 9:45 a.m., we have one piece of data. 10 a.m. is when all the other pieces of data are coming. And then at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Jerome Powell giving a speech. So when Powell speaks, when he opens his mouth, the whole stock market starts to move. So make sure you're prepared for that. Who knows what Powell is going to cause? And there's going to be a lot of volatility likely today as a result of all of this. So when it comes to the stock market, we tend to see cycles start to play out during the first days of the month. So if the market's in a downtrend, typically like we tend to see the market sell off on the first day, or we tend to see cycles kick off on the first day. So if the market's going to downtrend, there's a good chance it could start today. Today could be the starting day, but it's not a guarantee though, because once again, guys, I can't predict what's going to happen after Powell gives his speech. It could be very, very hard to predict, and there could be a lot of like nuances that affect it. So we'll just have to see. But I just wanted to warn you about that. Now, for earnings, we just have some very minor ones thus far. And then what's making the news would be the following. So it was the end of November yesterday, had a decent month for the stock market as a whole, and now we're going to be watching to see if there's any pivot for December. There's something new going on with Pfizer. They're discontinuing a version of their experimental oral weight loss drug. Important for them. This could affect their share price. There's more issues going on with another proxy battle for seats on Disney's board. Very important stuff for them. On top of this, I just want to mention the Cybertruck is still making headlines. It was a very, very eventful event, seeing the deliveries with Elon Musk there. Very awesome stuff. But now we're going to talk about how this could affect Tesla and beyond. So on the daily chart, Tesla's looking weaker. And then if we start to zoom in on the 4 hour, we're still looking very weak. We're continuing to sell off, barely holding 233. I think that we're actually breaking below the 4 hour 200 EMA. So 233 is going to be a very important support. And then when we zoom out on the daily chart, you will see that Tesla has support around, we have the 20 EMA on the daily at 233, and then below that we have 230, which is where our 200 EMA happens to be. Those are some critical supports. How is Tesla looking? Well, it's looking not the best. We have this trend line acting as our support on the bottom here. I know it's a little hard to see the white trend line down here. And for the last couple of days, if you look at Tesla, we've been making, lower highs and lower lows, just continuing to downtrend. And we're just barely holding support. So yes, I mean, we're technically not like in a big break below the support yet. We're just barely at this line. If you want to be bearish, here's what you got to watch for. First, we need to see Tesla around 232. If we lose that, the next level is 230. Tesla needs to close below 230 to be way more bearish. If we close below that, this thing is going to sink like a rock, and we're going to see this thing start sinking into the 220s all the way down to fill our gap in the mid 220 area. So it's going to be a bigger drop if we close below 230. If we manage to close above it, then there's some hope it's going to try to hold above that. And then if you want to turn bullish, if you want to see Tesla bounce, first off, it's got to break this resistance at 238. That's quite some distance away. And then to turn really bullish, you want to see it try to get back above 247. As of right now, we're not even close to that, and it's just been downtrending for this entire time. So in my chart, there's no sign of Tesla bouncing yet. It's just continuing to look weak. So we'll just have to see if Powell and the manufacturing data affect it. As of right now, it's looking weak, so we'll see how Tesla does. But I just want to warn you that it's downtrending. It's continuing to drop. There's no sign of a bounce, and we're about to test this support right here in this 232 area. So watch the 232s. That's where we have this support very close to our EMAs. And then, if we lose that, 230 is the next level. We need to try to close above this. If we lose 230, we have support at 227 and 225. We need to try to hold above 230 for there to be hope for a bounce. If we end up closing below it, it's going to be very bearish. Okay. Now, don't forget, something else that's going to affect Tesla will be the manufacturing data and Powell's speech. So make sure you're ready. Make sure you are prepared. When it comes to Jerome Powell, he's also going to affect SPY in the entire market. SPY is looking kind of bearish right now, in my opinion. In the pre-market, it's been selling off quite a bit. We're getting some minor sell signals, so I think there's a good chance it's going to retrace to the 454s. But that doesn't guarantee that it's going to remain this way. So I can see it actually testing 455.25. If that breaks at the 20 EMA, I think it's going to be back around 454. Then we also have this support trend line, this blue trend line on the bottom. I can change the color to something that's easier to see, like orange. The orange trend line, right? You guys can see this. It's our support. We might retrace a little bit more, but here's the thing. It all depends on Jerome Powell and also what happens with the manufacturing data. Are we about to get a bigger rug pull back down to 452? Or are we about to push back up towards this imbalance? If we're bullish, we want to see it bounce and try to get back up to 456. There could be one more temporary pump before we see more downside later. Or if we turn bearish, you want to see it lose 454, we test 453.5. If we start losing the 453s, 452 is where we have critical support. We have to hold that. If we lose that support, it's going to start sinking much lower to 450 or below that. So watch those supports very carefully and watch resistance. 455.5, 456.5, and then 457.5 are resistance levels. We're going to drop, but I don't know if we're going to get a big bounce thanks to Powell and then drop later, or if we're just going to continue to sink after Powell's speech and the data comes out. So we'll just have to wait and see. On the QQQ, it's the same thing, basically. Same analysis is looking bearish. It looks like it's going to be retesting 386. If we're bullish, you want to see it trying to get back above 389. 390 is also where we have an imbalance, 390.5, and then 391, and then 393. For bearish, you want to see it lose basically support right here around 387.5. If we lose that, watch 386. And then if we lose 386, I mean, it's going to start sinking down to 383. In my opinion, the QQQ is looking bearish for now. But what I can't predict exactly is going to be how we react to Jerome Powell's speech. So we'll just see if Powell causes a pump or not. As of right now, from a technical standpoint, we're looking bearish, we're making lower highs and lower lows. There's no sign of this thing getting a massive bounce. So the chart still looks bearish. But let's just see what Jerome Powell causes. Let's see if he gives us a pump or not. But the odds do favor more downside anyways, looking at the current trend. One of the reasons for that is because of Nvda looking relatively weak, barely holding support. We have support between 464 and 465. If we lose 464, this thing has potential to start sinking towards 462. Way down here, let me just read. I think my line got deleted. I'm sorry about that, guys. And if we lose that, I'm going to be watching this zone right here. Our next support is going to be, hold on, it's going to be way down here between 460 and 459. So that's going to be our next level. Then we have 457.5. Then we have like 455 coming next. So these are the supports on Nvidia basically. I just didn't draw them out, but I remembered all of them. If anything looks bearish, look for either a pop and drop or a drop from here. And if we lose our support where we're currently being held at the 4-hour, 200 EMA, we're going to turn more bearish if we end up losing this critical support. So make sure you watch the 200 EMA. And then if we lose that, there's 462, 459 to 460 comes next, and these lower levels. We're just barely holding support right here at 464. That's once again because of our EMA. There's not like an actual trend line here, but I'm just going to draw that out anyways. So if we lose this, if it is going to be sinking, it's just barely holding on. It's holding on for dear life right now. So it is what it is. It looks bearish overall, in my opinion. Apple, it's technically bearish because if you look at this, we're making lower highs and lower lows on a trend. We tried to pump and we just got another rejection. It looks bearish. Looks like it could retest the 189s, but we'll see if Powell gives us a pump back towards this imbalance at 191, or if Powell gives us the rug pull and we're about to break 188. I don't know, guys. It depends on what Powell says. We look bearish from a technical standpoint. I think 189 is going to be tested soon, but I don't know if Powell and the manufacturing data give us a bounce or not temporarily, or if we're about to get the rug pull and we're about to see a big drop starting now. The drop could come later, but I don't know if it's about to start today or not. That depends on all this data and such. Okay, so I'm just talking about this data in particular. We'll see what the move is and we'll see what Jerome Powell's speech causes. Just know the charts look bearish. Most of them still look bearish, and we'll see how this continues. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Sorry if this video is kind of late. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Tesla to the moon. The long term is bright. Make sure you watch support and make sure you're prepared for anything, especially when Powell's speech starts. All right, thanks again, and peace out.